Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Grand Championship Series 2 finals. We were just talking about what a relief it is to have everything set up, to have everything going, because we have slaved away to make this event as good. It's probably the best I've ever heard it sound. Just ever. Anyway, just to get straight to it, I was just saying I'm here with Tightrope, who's come all the way over from New Zealand. He's going to be casting the first of the games with me. And DevM versus Jesulin in our first match. How do you feel about that?
Oh man, it's so exciting. Jesulin, you never know with Jesulin because he's got those legacy skills. He's been around for so many years, and he can just pull it out of the bag.
He was that old player that was kind of the best for 2 years, I think, since the game's launch. He was the #1 player, yes. And he was fearsome. In fact, he just constantly beat everybody that came his way, and there was no seeming way to beat his strategy. But I think it was playstyle based, because people weren't really playing with the commanders and stuff then. And as more players got good and started experimenting, we saw him dip down a bit. It's worth saying, though, is that DevM did really put Jesulin out of the Warpaint Championship right in the finals. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. I think Jesulin, it comes down to his motivations, and this is like such a prestigious event. I think he's been training very hard. And as long as his micro's there, his tactics are very sound. He plays a very methodical game, and I think he's got a really good chance of winning.
He definitely has a chance. I'd say every player that we've got here at the moment does have a chance of winning. They're all great players. Jesulin quit the scene. He quit the scene last year, actually, after GCS, the first one, because Aimstrong, I think, put him out in a humiliating fashion. But it was really good to have him back. And you're right, he's a solid player, but we did put him down as one of the players that might leave the tournament first, which I know that I could tell he was feeling that pressure. So he's going to be an interesting one to watch today. Just having a quick look at what have we got here. Game is actually ready to go into. Are you ready to go into this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's an honor to actually cast this first one with you, Tightrope. We haven't cast together before.
No,
actually.
never.
No, I'm excited.
Yes.
So I hope everyone else is excited. Thanks to everybody who has joined us so far, by the way, for GCS2. Please do share this link out on Twitch and everywhere on social media. We would love to get as many people as possible watching the games today. It's important to us. We put a lot of effort into it, and you guys have also put a lot of money into it for this to be the best it possibly can. We, as you probably can hear, are about to go into our first game, which we'll do immediately. And let me just test this works. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first game of the Grand Championship Series 2 finals. What a finals it is going to be. Live event from Manchester in the United Kingdom. We have all the players here. Sitting on my right now is Tightrope, who's going to be casting this first game with me. And on the south side of our first map, Crossroads, we have the Spanish monster. It is going to be Jesulin playing as the Soviets.
And in the north, we have the man from Portugal, the prodigy, DevM. He's playing as Austria.
That's right. DevM is top seed for this tournament. He's a ferocious player. Jesulin is the lowest seed here. So interesting games. We were talking a little bit before this game started how we think it may go. And you seem to think Jesulin does have the competency to stand up against DevM in this series?
Yes, I do. And he's straight away going for an interesting strategy, going for the conscripts. We've seen a lot of Tier 1 play recently, and he's deviating from that.
I think, yeah, do you know what? Jesulin, by statistics, was, I think, one of those players who experimented most with strategies, with commanders. He seemed to have used a lot of the factions as well. So I think I put him down as probably one of the most unpredictable players in this event to kind of see what strategy he's going to be using, what commander he's going to be using. But as you say, it's quite classic. It's typical Jesulin.
Yes.
It's classic.
Yes, classic.
Three
conscripts so far. If he goes 4, that's the magic number. That is the absolute all-time Go-To classic build.
Well, if he is still playing old world strategies, he'll do a little better now, as conscripts have improved over the years with balance patches and all manner of changes. But let's have a look at the commanders we've got loaded in today. Jesulin, Guard Motor, Armored Assault, and Guard Rifle combined arms. I mean, there's Guard Rifles still pretty strong, actually. I see a lot of people using the KV-1 very effectively on this map with the 2AT gun build to support.
Yeah, the PPSH conscripts are still very strong as well. So we've seen a lot of... Well, they dropped off a little bit, the PPSH conscripts, in popularity, but they are still very strong once they get Vet 3.
Of course, here's our first engagements at the moment. Jesulin is struggling against his first push from DevM. He's taken a flank round the line of sight hedgerow, and the conscripts do have low health, so these grenadiers should be able to deal with him, even though they're a 6-man squad. That's probably a sensible retreat from Jesulin, who still hasn't dropped a model on that engagement. Jesulin is going to take house in the center, but DevM is holding a good position with that MG, and a good forward work with those grenadiers. Confident start to the game from him.
Yeah, that's actually your worst nightmare for your squad to retreat as 6 men, like that low health early. You don't have medics. They're just going to come back onto the field equally low health and just be useless in combat. So that's really bad for Jesulin.
Yeah, you're actually right there. Very right. You're not even able to reinforce them.
Yeah, he can't do anything. They're just trash. I think he thought they were going to lose a few more models on retreat, but it just didn't happen.
That's a very good observation, Tightrope. But let's have a look at what Jesulin's doing right now. You can see a couple of units here on the left. He's going to go and cut supplies for DevM. At the same time, DevM is pushing down to this strategic decap outside of Jesulin's base. So it is a resource war from these two players right from the start. And I don't think that Jesulin has enough to deal with this.
No, this is classic DevM running straight down onto the cutoff, very aggressive. And it's working out well for him, cutting off that right-hand side.
I've got to say, DevM hasn't really changed his play style for the years that I've ever seen him. It's I always know him from Crossing in the Woods. There used to be a little house there that he used to exploit the hell out of. And it's nearly the same situation here. He's always glued to some building here or there. But you see there, DevM, now this is quite clever. DevM is not going to go and engage the units up at the fuel point. He's going to make sure this territory that's connecting it for Jesulin isn't capped. And I think that's very sensible in stopping the fuel resource going to Jesulin's bank account. So I think already in the start of this game, looks like DevM playing very well. Very, very well.
Yeah, he's playing his game. Jesulin's going to have to do something to throw him off, because if you're playing DevM's game, he's going to win it.
Our headquarters has been improved. We can now build
we do have that commander pick that we were looking for. It's going to be Guard Rifle combined arms. And so we might be seeing that KV-1 later as the game goes on. And I guess one thing that we know about Jesulin is that he, when he's on his peak, usually itself, he's a methodical player. And he'll probably be lining up. I imagine we'll see Tier 2. I think that's probably going to be the likely option. Tier 2 and just slowly working Tier 2 up the field. It has been a very successful strategy in a lot of other games in the series.
Yeah, this has just been very impressive machine gun positioning from DevM. Just every time it's in the right spot at the right time. That's very hard to do.
So just watch that now. Look at the angle. Look at the angle that covers.
Yeah, just like perfect. Like he soft retreated a little bit, and now it's in a great position to fight against that building.
I mean, this is one thing that we know about DevM is that he really has been studying the game quite hard. He's actually someone that's really taken a lot of time to do those kind of things. He's constantly just learning the positions of everything, and what you point out there is exactly what makes him so strong. What have we got here at the moment? There's the tier 2 that we were looking for Jesulin, and not to discount Jesulin, but he is making a little bit of a comeback on the map right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's banking up a bit of manpower, going for some guards probably once he hits 2 command points.
It's going to be a sensible choice because he is going to be up against the half-track from tier 2 Oster. We see that arriving on the field right now. Straight away being upgraded with flame projectors, so we know what the strategy is here from DevM. The question really comes down to the timing of these guards and tier 2 units.
Yeah, he's gone for the Maxim before the guards. That's a big surprise for me. Oh no, he cancelled it. And now he's building as this.
I think he just got the first sight on that, or maybe could hear it immediately. Like, actually, my MG's not going to do too much against this. So this is a big window for DevM though, because he has to make full use of this when it comes in the field before that 80 gun keeps him away from Jesulin's base. So how he utilizes this right now, very important. Here comes the first burst from that flame projector. 2 of them engaged, but not really any gain from it.
Yeah, I mean, Jesulin really had to expect this strategy from DevM. He did it all throughout the qualifiers. So I think not having some anti-tank prepared at this stage is a bit of a mistake.
It's little things here, not picking the cover engagements makes me think that Jesulin might be using the attack move button a little bit to prod either side for recon. It's going to struggle to get past this flame projector, but there's the AT gun setting up. DevM straight away on the flank. He's not worried about snares, and I think actually Jesulin tried to Ura, but it was way off the mark.
He lost a conscript.
He just lost a conscript. Where was that side?
Must have been there, right? It must have been like a rifle grenade on that left-hand side.
Not 100% sure on that one. Anyway, a good flank from Jesulin. He's coming around with the flamethrower engineers there. Low health MG. And again, that MG just setting up in great positions. Even with the conscripts and engineers, haven't been able to get a good flank.
Yeah, I don't think he's had to retreat at once this whole, 8 minutes. That's very impressive.
Not at all. Not at all. Quick look on that left side. There's the rifle grenades. It's clearly going to be rifle grenades that are causing these squad wipes.
Ooh, there's this connected long range there. It's going to put that out for repairs, so that's going to buy Jesulin a little bit of time to push back out.
Do you have that Maxim on the field now? Yeah. It'll be a little bit helpful. We see DevM's army. So many grenadiers. I think the Maxim is going to be really important to actually just suppress those units, let the conscripts get in close. We might see those PPSHs, which I think would be a good strategy for this. But DevM is well in the lead right now. He's banking a lot of fuel. Let's have a look at his teching too. He's still on battle phase 1, so no serious signs of teching at this moment. What do you think he'll do for a command?
DevM? Oh, it's hard to say. It really depends on how Jesulin gets to his tier 3, how much of an impact the T70 would have. He's always got mobile defense in his loadout ready to go, so he's not going to pick it until he needs it, but if not, I think it will be Lightning War.
Sensible choice. Too many people picking mobile defense right at the start of games and not leaving themselves with anything. There's the guards that we were talking about. This is really late, I think. 9 minutes in, these guards could be useful. Very mobile in the field about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Here we see finally engineers do get some flame burst off on this MG42, but somehow DevM, he's balls of steel just sitting there taking it. He's confident that actually he's going to get the suppression, and that's thanks to a second MG42. And here on the back lines, we've got another barrage from Jesulin trying to keep DevM's grenadiers coming on that decap. It's starting to heat up as a game. We're seeing another infantry half-track from DevM. You see a second load of flame projectors.
I've never seen that before. Double flame half-track. That would be an innovation. Jesulin's still struggling for fuel control. He's just had such little fuel control. It's really a worry.
It is a worry, and at least he does have the guards to kind of help out. I think Button with the AT gun support might be useful, but it's forcing yourself to use a lot of micro that you don't want to be doing. He's already struggling. Maybe he's going to bank for the KV1. Maybe he's just going to tech KV1, not build anything else.
It's also a bit of a worry that he hasn't upgraded his conscripts with PPSHs, I think. Like, you do have to then URA them into close range, but at least then you can win those engagements. The meters easily and much more effective when you do manage to flank machine gun.
Our foes have 300 points remaining.
Half-track came in, got buttoned, and immediately DevM uses the smoke discharge to get away. And that's really good because it's not like Jesulin's getting a massive income of munitions right now. So wasting it all by forcing them to use abilities is a really good win for him.
Oh man, he's just roasting on toasting on both flanks. Very good vehicle micro as well. Hasn't taken too many snares on those half-tracks.
See another rifle grenade here. Jesulin is starting to warm up to those. DevM's playing viciously right from the get-go. I feel like throughout this tournament, I mean, one of the things that I talked about with DevM was that he qualified so early that no one can really watch him play. No one can see what he's been practicing, what strategies he's using. So, you know, when you see this game, I'm kind of like, he's probably not going to use his killer strategies right now. He just wants to test the waters, I think, and this probably doesn't pack a degree of serious play to it. He's confidently in the lead. He can afford to do this. And there goes the mobile defense pick, by the way. So he might just be looking to completely capitalize on his lead soon.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is exactly what he did in the qualifiers, so there's no need to reveal a new strategy if this one's still working.
It's not going to work against everyone, though.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he can do it. It's also interesting, like DevM in the winners interview that AE did after he won the qualifiers, he said that his strategy on this map was to kind of like play around the middle of the map. And that's exactly what he did at the start of this game. So, you know, Jesulin watched that interview, maybe would have known that's exactly what we've seen here.
Brings back all of the memories from GCS1 at this point. We've got a great flank here from the Grenadiers coming around the back of the AT gun. Another rifle grenade, really impressive, all these rifle grenades, taking 3 bottles of the conscript squad. Yet another one on the Maxim, reducing it to 1 man. This is brutal. If he can get the Maxim and the AT gun run away with it, I would probably say that it's going to be a GG situation.
Oh no, is that a Bugzis?
It is a Bugzis.
Oh no.
Indeed. Oh.
Hate to see that.
We do. We hate to see that in this game. Some people love it. I personally don't. But nevertheless, you know what? DevM isn't going to care.
Oh, he's so far ahead at this stage. He can avoid it as well. He's got to make sure he steals that Maxim, though. He's got the 4-man squad right there to do it. There he goes.
That's a good pickup from DevM. And, look at that. It's almost set up in the correct position to completely lock Jesulin out of the right side of the map. More work from the infantry half-track, which is trying to get rid of these engineers that keep pushing the left side. I get the impression that right now Jesulin is without answers for this game. The only thing you can really do is go for the T-70, but we already know that DevM's going to counter that immediately if it comes onto the field.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen him just go for it. He's had the resources for, you know, maybe 2 minutes now. Oh, SU-76. All right.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe he has an idea. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah, well, you can play like long range with the SU-76. Oh,
I thought that rifle grenade was going to go off, and then it's the flamethrower projectors. Let's just check out the match stats as well, just to see. You can see it's pretty much 2-0 KD for DevM.
Yeah, and DevM actually has, just before had exactly twice the army supply of Jesulin, so...
It's a bit of a massacre at this point. We're seeing tier 3 from DevM. And here comes the... this is a very important unit. I wouldn't say it's totally useless. It's going to help somewhat to allow the infantry to get up the field. But they have to do a lot of work against...
He's got engine damage on one of those half-tracks.
I think it's this one's one.
Try to chase it down. They're both there.
There it is. One goes down with the Su-76. He's going to chase for the second one.
He's going after it.
Be a little careful for mines, given that this is the last big unit Jesulin has, but no, he's going to chase.
At this point, he's got to go in. He's got to make the big plays to make a comeback, so I can't fault him for chasing there.
Specially outfitted Panzer IV command tanks
And Su-76 does have access to that barrage, so quite powerful against infantry as well. Hopefully we get to see a few of those barrages, because Jesulin does have quite a lot of munitions. He's had it throughout the match. Ooh, good hit.
Yeah, it's really important that all those barrages go off. We might get another model. Wow. That's
one more shell.
Not quite. Jesulin trying to connect fuel on the left-hand side, continuously throwing conscripts. Now he has to defend the engine-damaged Su-76, and I think that DevM has enough to just Faust it over and over. Probably no need to call in the Puma. He is, of course, teching back in the base right now.
Yeah, this Su-76 is not really posing much of a threat right now, so you can afford to let it go.
Worried about these rifle grenades from DevM. He'll see the opportunity, I'm sure. He's going to make that retreat. There's probably one Faust potentially away from taking the Su-76. Don't know why Jesulin's going to leave it there, though.
Down to 50 points.
It's,
this whole army's here, right? I mean, like, if he can't
I'd take it back to the base, though.
If he can't defend it here, like, he's in trouble. Panzer IV is in production, though, so can he repair it before that hits the battlefield? That's the key question. Got to get rid of that main gun destroy crit.
Credit to Jesulin. I mean, 30 VPs left, so this game's going to be over very quickly. But he's stuck in this game. He's tested DevM out at every opportunity that he could. And I think he's just got a little hint of how difficult this series is going to be for him. But that doesn't mean that game 2 will go badly. I mean,
I think it's good to play through here to, you know, warm up, because maybe he wasn't ready for this.
I know I wasn't. So this is my warm-up.
Exactly.
I don't blame him for being a little rusty either.
Yeah.
So, Panzer IV to end the game. 5 VPs. It will not see any action. This is going to be our first game going into the hands of DevM. All right, we are back after our first game, Jesulin versus DevM. DevM clearing that one quite confidently. Not a great deal to say about it in terms of performance and strategy, because I think that was rather one-sided. But you know, any comments really for the series?
Like as I said, DevM brought the strategy that he was using in the qualifiers. You know, you had like several months to build a counter to that, and Jesulin just wasn't able to do it. I mean, on the map that probably has seen the most play in this tournament as well.
It's yeah, I mean, it's one of these things. You see like top seed against bottom seed as well, so there is kind of like a disparity. And as we know, like some of the top players are not at the same level. We know that. So when we see like DevM come in, DevM, we're always going to see a strong performance, even against players like Love Nest and Helping Hands of Ivan. It's you know, it's we just know. We know that.
Yeah, well, any doubts about DevM's form leading up to this have now been silenced. He's put on an excellent performance there, and certainly hasn't got rusty in the time between qualifying and now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we had like a bit of a talk show a couple of weeks ago where we were discussing, like, you know, DevM hasn't played for ages, he hasn't had tournament practice. I'm thinking, no, it's like he's definitely practicing somewhere. Yeah, and I think we all had a little bit of a. We know DevM, we know him, we know him quite well. So game 2 will be coming up very shortly. I'm going to just change a couple of things on our overlay. I'll have to do that when we start up. So, yeah, by the way, I've got to say a massive thank you to all the guys at 80 Hertz Studios, because we're live from Manchester at the moment. We've got a live audience. We've got a big screen out there that I see everybody's enjoying. And also we've got great sound engineers. We've got George, who's sitting close to us at the moment, who is put on just an amazing setup for us.
Yeah, this venue is awesome, man. It's off lovely. The charts.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, we were able to do so much here, really. And George, he's not here, he's here. It just made it like so easy for us the whole way through. So again, thank you everybody who's turned up so far. Keep sharing out the links to this on social media. We want to get as many people here as possible for the biggest event that Company of Heroes 2 has ever had, and its grand finale will be tomorrow, of course. Let's have a look for our next game. And we had good words with Ipkai about how to run this. So we've got 2 players. They're playing with like divided. Have you seen the room?
No, I actually haven't been up there yet.
It's really cool. So you've got players, they're kind of sitting opposite each other. They've got a divider in the middle. And then you've got referee kind of sitting and watching over both of them. Ipkai is trying to keep stone still so that he doesn't, distract either player. Because last thing we want is someone whining, Ipkai was distracting me. It's
he's a professional. He's got a lot of experience in other tournaments
He
as
is.
well.
That's why he's in that room. Yeah, definitely, because he's a very good guy for that. So let's just make sure, because we've got that first game. What I don't want is for them to not go in with names.
That would be a disaster trying to remember who's who.
It would, yeah. So for those of you guys, we are still getting just familiar with the process of this. What I may do is just go and check. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Just make sure. And then, guys, we'll be back in the next couple of minutes with our next game. It is game 2 for Jesulin versus DevM. Currently, DevM is 1-0 up in the series and might actually close it very quickly. We'll be back very shortly. Hello everybody, we are back for game 2 of DevM versus Jesulin. As you can see, DevM now playing as the Soviets from the south side of Crossroads. He has one game up already in this series. And who do we have playing in the north?
In the north, we've got Jesulin, who's straight away locked in Ostrupen.
I like it.
Oh, yeah, this
really
is a spicy one.
You know what's interesting is that it's not the kind of thing you see when you're on the back foot to maybe play something that everyone's like, is that the right idea? But Jesulin, I have confidence. I do have confidence in Jesulin. There may be something to this. And I think, well, let's talk about the benefits of Ostrupen. I mean, they hold the front line for ages. They're so easy to reinforce and get around everywhere. Great early game map control. And maybe that means he's expecting DevM to play a tier 1 early, maybe go for something like a sniper. I think maybe there's something to this.
Yeah, I mean, the benefits of Ostrupen as well, so cheap to reinforce. You just have like Fausts all over the map, very good at shutting down light vehicles. And also, as we see now, DevM going for the sniper, very cheap to reinforce. So the sniper doesn't actually inflict that much manpower damage.
I think that Jesulin's been very smart here. I think actually this is a good analysis in this game because that sniper is going to get overrun. We've already seen just by having tier 1 built that DevM's a little slower to the field. He's had to build 2 engineers. And what power does he have?
Oh man, did you see that? That sniper was like a millimeter away from being complete. He saw the Ostrupen, cancelled it, went for the penals instead.
How unfortunate is that? How unfortunate! Jesulin's entire plan has just been foiled by DevM's quick fingers. That is... Wow, this could have been a completely different game. But I think that just goes to show, really, Jesulin did have the right idea there, but DevM is such a big player in this event.
And ready to change the strategy in an instant. He saw it, and straight away his reaction was, no, getting rid of that sniper, going for the penals instead.
Yeah, it's, well, now he has something else to focus on. It's going to be penals, and they're going to contest a little bit better against the Ostrupen. It's a lot of good map control for Jesulin, and I think this is probably what he needs to capitalize on now, is resource and teching, and maybe seeing if he can get somewhere else.
Yeah, he's got to get out a fast tier 2 vehicle and really inflict some damage onto these penals because the Ostrupen are not going to be able to fight them effectively. Their rifles are just not strong enough.
Actually, I thought that we might see a little more action from the MG at this stage of the game. Maybe just see it locked down outside the base. I don't know if Jesulin is being aggressive enough here, given that the advantage that he does have. We're going to see a scout car come on the field soon.
No, generally at this point in the game, you would have wanted to have forced to retreat with your machine gun. So Jesulin not having done that is not maximizing his machine gun's effectiveness.
Keep a close eye on this game. Flamethrowers on the Pioneers, trying to deal with the penal battalions. Here's that scout car from DevM. Immediately pops the flamethrower on the engineers. DevM runs on clockwork. It is so impressive to see some people play like this, and DevM is just one of the best.
Yeah, very impressive with his timings as well, because he didn't have very good map control. Those Ostrupen were kind of containing him a bit.
Oh my word, and he's caught these Ostrupen and MG in possibly the worst position you can imagine. Wipes the Ostrupen squad. This is huge. What a huge upturn to this game that looks so well prepared by Jesulin. DevM has thrown it on its head. Now we're seeing the MG42 in full retreat from this scout car. Will we even see it go to the base, I wonder? Let's have a quick look in the south as well, just to see what's going on.
No, he's not going to chase all the way to base. Playing it safe. The reason why that happened there is because Jesulin tried to keep his Pioneers on the field for a long time. Didn't get his tech down, so no Fausts on the Ostrupen. They're very vulnerable to the scout car.
Yeah, it's just, it's great game knowledge, really. But there is still work to be done here. We do have, or had, double fuel for a very short period of time in Jesulin's hands. He has got tier 2 on the field, so he's going to be going for the... it's interesting. Go for the infantry troop transport.
Yeah, well, he's got enough munitions for the flamethrower upgrade, so I imagine we're going to see that from him, which is very effective against the penals. Even once they upgrade the PTRS, they can kind of just backpedal, lay down a pool of flames, and the penals just get torched without doing much damage.
Definitely like the idea of the half track, but really I'm thinking, like, how's he going to deal with the scout car at this point if he's not able to Faust and
Well, he's got his tier 2 down, and I believe that they changed it so tier 2 gives access to the Faust with the last change to the Austrian commander.
You are correct.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
Great use of the building there from Jesulin, trying to scare these penal battalions away. Utilizing the MG on top of the half-track. Ostrican sticking to cover positions. You see PTRS there on the penal battalions, and we have a commander pick from DevM too. Just going to be guard rifle combined, sorry.
Yep. That scout car, he's doubling down on the light vehicles, and DVM is doubling down on the PTRS in response. You've got to be careful because PTRS and the scout car can chase down these light vehicles sometimes. The fact that he hasn't got rid of that scout car could cause a lot of issues for Jesulin's light vehicles.
There's the scout car we were looking at before. Thought that was going to be a block, but as both units were moving, it does in fact ghost. So not maybe perhaps what DevM was looking for. It looks like he's going to pack the scout car with the guards for the PTRS on the move.
He's going for the kill here. He's trying to chase this down to base. He needs this white, and he gets it too. Nicely done. Oh, he's in there. He's going after the flamer.
Oh, this has to be a block from Jesulin. He doesn't get it in time. Can he block the scout car from going back to base? I think he has done it successfully. Still got to be wary of the guards though.
Yeah, very nice maneuvering here by Jesulin, getting out of there with the 222 after getting the kill. But yeah, losing that, he just couldn't block it in time. Unfortunate, and now his army is looking very thin after losing that flame half-track.
He's actually going to rebuild it straight away. So going to be huge munitions spent at the start of the game.
Ostrupen is like a very momentum-based commander, so if he lets off the gas pedal here, tries to save up for something from tier 3, I think he's going to lose the game. He needs to keep this light vehicle pressure on to have hope of winning.
DevM's current fuel banked at the moment. Probably see a tier 3. I think it's probably the likely option is to see that T70 come out.
Yeah, well, he's been very strapped for manpower. He himself has been suffering quite a lot of casualties. Very high action game so far.
Definitely a big improvement on the first game. At least give it that one. Penal battalions now with support of the guards pushing up the left-hand side, sorry, on the right-hand side of the base. And suddenly the map color has begun to change. You see that DevM is starting to get that same map control we saw in the first game. He's just such a confident player though, from all angles. I mean, you see him playing off the front foot very, very well. He capitalized on his lead, but also in recovering from situations. DevM has just got it nailed down.
Yeah, I think Jesulin's key to coming back in this game is going to be his machine gun positioning. If he can constantly force DVM's squads to retreat, DVM doesn't really have a good counter to the machine gun right now because he doesn't have his light vehicle, no mortars. Oh, this is going to be a white.
He's trying to ground attack through the hedgerow, which I think is really smart. He wasn't rewarded for it, but actually I think plays like that are probably another way that he'll get himself back into this game. He's also being very sensible and decapping the resource points kind of with this strategic decap rather than going directly for it. So Jesulin actually doesn't look burned out. He doesn't look disheartened by the first game at all. He is still fighting, bringing that Spanish spirit into the tournament. And what have we got here? Finally.
Yeah, starting his tick now. Very late tick. So that T70 is going to come out super late.
Well, interestingly, he's already got tier 1 and he's building tier 2. So thinking he's not going for it as fast as I
heard him cancel it.
There we go. Okay.
Maybe he
little bit of a
hotkey or something there.
DevM maybe not as hot as we thought he was. But
a pack coming in for Jesulin, anticipating the T70, which is fair because this is generally the timing you'd see it between 8 and 12 minutes.
There's always something, isn't there? There's always some kind of light vehicle going to be out around the 10-minute mark that you want to be prepared for, and he's going to get himself prepared for that. I think Jesulin actually has a really good chance in this game, and I mean that very sincerely. He's got a good amount of units to work with. The way that he's recapping the map, you can see he's prioritizing that. He's prioritizing resources. So maybe he's going to rush for the next tech. Maybe he's going to try and get the bigger vehicles out first. DevM putting the mines down.
What's that machine gun up to?
I'm actually wandering. There it is.
Just force one squad to retreat. That's pretty good.
Oh no, the mine that was being laid by DevM gets triggered by the scout car. That plan has been foiled, and also if Jesulin is paying attention, he will know that DevM is laying mines now. Maybe want to pop that second squad of engineers.
He's gonna, yeah, he has to retreat that. If he tried to set it up, it just get satchel charged and get cleared out. But yeah, Jesulin fighting back onto the map really well. The map is almost entirely in his control.
There's that T-70 we're looking for from DevM. It's going to be a big unit. To unit micro correctly will be DevM's answer to get back in.
Pack sitting here in the middle.
Oh no,
Did he
get a shot.
off?
Yes, he did. Wow, long Faust. Really long Faust.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he needed to shut down the T-70 as soon as it hits the field. And he's gone in for this quite.
I like that. I really like that Jesulin is being aggressive, and you have to be aggressive like that with DevM. You've got to catch him when he's weak, and that was a perfect moment. Great micro from Jesulin.
Oh, no reaction to the bundle grenade. Oh, 222 coming in for the kill.
I think he'll get it.
I think so.
I think he will.
Come on.
It's worth chasing, I'm sure.
Oh, right at the doorstep of the medics. Unfortunate for DevM, but Jesulin playing really well here. Microing his light vehicles extremely well. Good support play from the pack as well. He's shown some life. After that first match, we thought it was
I know,
all
right?
over,
I was bracing myself for a bit of a slow start to the day, and kind of, you know, I was hoping for one as well, to be honest.
He's going off. He's going off.
Yeah. All right. Well, DevM in a difficult situation, as we know at the moment. He does still have the T-70. He's got a lot of work to do. He's going to go into recon mode and.
Yeah, he wants to scout the location of that pack, try and avoid taking any damage from it. So use the recon mode to move around. I've seen a lot more recon mode usage this tournament.
We are losing a sector.
We got here tier 3 from Jesulin.
Maybe he's not aware though that recon mode doesn't capture territories unless you're Vet 1.
You're probably right that he is just scouting for the pack, and also just recon on any locations is helpful. Just to kind of know what's going on at any time. He has got few units to play with, so I guess giving himself the biggest advantage in that sense is very important. Jesulin on tier 3, so I guess probably going to be going for a Panzer IV, but if you look at DevM right now, building another T-70, I don't know what window DevM's really going to have on this. Still scouting around.
If he can get the location of that pack and then just rush it with these two T-70s, he can overwhelm Jesulin. Jesulin's not in that secure of a position. He really needs some mines down to shut down these T-70s movement.
There's the Faust from the Austrian. Credit to Jesulin, he's been very, very good at getting those the correct range, and always, it's so important to get the T-70 moving that slowly. We see the AT gun is set up. Can he get line of sight through here? Can he at least take a ground shot, do you think? He's going to give it a go.
222 moving in here. Oh, I see he's nearby though. Very delicate position for Jesulin. If he over-commits that pack, he could lose the game on the spot. He turns that pack over.
I don't know if you've noticed, DevM, he's laying a lot of mines at the moment. I imagine he probably predicts, I mean, given the situation that he's been in terms of resources, probably predicts that something is going to come from Jesulin soon. And I think he's actually preparing for himself quite well.
Jesulin's actually floating a little bit too many resources here. Probably would be a good idea to go for another Pioneer, get some minesweepers, be able to plant some more mines himself, because he's got quite a lot of munitions in the bank. And he needs to spend them. That's one thing with Ostrup, you don't have access to the rifle grenades or the LMGs, so do have a bit more munitions for those other bits and bobs.
I'd say I would be laying telemines if I was playing against DevM. Because you know at some point it's going to be outside your base.
That is true. He's doing a pretty good job sweeping so far.
I'm just looking at the AT position. I think Jesulin is doing well enough with this. Got an AT gun from DevM, so yeah, it's clear right now he does expect armor at some point in the next minute or so, and we do see Panzer IV is in the build. DevM's just got to get these T-70s repaired, get them up the field, and try and pick away at Jesulin's manpower as much as he can. Jesulin, is he trying to respond there to the penal battalions as they try to push the left-hand side? I don't know if I feel that Jesulin's been too aggressive though, because he's clearly got the lead, and I feel like maybe he's stalled a little bit. Probably could have been charging a bit more into DevM's.
Yeah, it does seem like given the way the game's gone, he should have a little bit more map control right now. But those double T-70s, man, they're hard to repel. And, you know, the pack can only be in one spot at a time, so it is hard to contain two T-70s on a map this wide.
Didn't know whether we were going to see a dive into the base there. AT gun isn't in the correct position to deal with this Panzer IV. Jesulin is confident to drive past it, actually clearing a number of models away from it as he goes. He's going to play it safe. He's not going to try and charge down the T-70s. He's actually focusing on this AT gun, which I think is very sensible. Here comes the flame projectors from the half-track as well. One of the T-70s is dangerously low in health. There's the AT gun down. Could this be a moment for Jesulin to push?
Yeah, no sticky satchels nearby, no PTRS squad, so this is going. Oh man, he goes for the penal squad straight away. I thought he tried to destroy the pack first, but oh, and they popped the PTRS right now. Can he get the sticky satchel off? Not quite, but he hasn't killed the AT gun. He's going to try and recrew it.
He's lucky he'll at least get a squad wipe from that, but I think it's got enough health to get away. Look at what's going on right now. I mean, Jesulin is just not active with the rest of his army. He's got the Panzer IV doing a lot of work, but probably could be throwing a little more in to make the best of this. Scout cars going in to get some shots off in the T-70. I just feel like it's a little bit too static.
Yeah, I think he's going to make another push once the Flame half-track's ready to go, because his anti-infantry capabilities at the moment are not that strong. His Panzer Grenadiers, they're only one squad. They can only do so much. So he really needs that Flame half-track to force away the infantry, because the Austrians just don't have enough firepower.
I don't know if he quite got the position of the AT gun there whilst he was in recon mode.
Oh, he got the Faust off on that T-70.
That's a long Faust.
Yeah,
Every one of those has been
crazy
crazy range. See that Panzer IV, I think he's actually coming around. Maybe he wants to push for the T-70, and this is where Jesulin has to be careful, because he has not been minesweeping. He is dangerously close to one there.
Oh man, he's dancing with death here. Right next to that is this.
Well, he does at least have the minesweepers now, but they're on the wrong side of the map. I mean, really, you'd want to put maybe the engineers with the flamethrower there, get your minesweepers up on the front line.
Yeah, I think Jesulin's really stretched here. He's trying to micro a lot of things at once. Very challenging, but he's doing a very good job of it.
Wow!
Oh, I thought that had blown up there for a second. Main gun destroyed though. One T-70 out action. Seconds this. Getting the barrage going. DevM himself has quite a lot of munitions. I think he's just waiting for 12 CPs, waiting for those IL-2 planes. Maybe that will help him turn the game around.
It's possible it might, to be honest. I think at this stage, it's very clear that DevM has been losing.
Oh,
but
look at this. Great rotation from Jesulin. Bringing his Panzer IV over here. I think he's going to get a kill on this T-70. Unless he gets... Oh!
You look at the attention to detail from Jesulin as well. You know, he's like stopping the tank to get the higher accuracy when he fires. Like, he's playing it. He's playing this game very well. Actually, like, technically very well. But again, it's just like, there's just units doing nothing over here. Why do we have an MG positioned, you know, like so far on the left side? Action's all in the center. There's no attempt to steal resources on the right. Maybe even take a third VP. Not even minesweeping. So I'm a little bit worried, to be honest, that in a situation like this, DevM may have time to come back and figure a way out around Jesulin.
Well, he does. He's held on to his fuel pretty well, despite all this pressure. He's got quite a lot in the bank. He could tick up and get some tier 3 action going.
We are losing a sector.
I mean, tier 4 action, sorry.
He's not going to do that at the moment. He's going to go for another Panzer IV. I think actually once he gets that critical mass, he might decide to dive. Certainly possible.
Oh, this could be another wipe. Nice body blocking as well. There's the stop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Suppression didn't come through in time. Now goes that penal. He's only got one penal left. That's actually really good for Jesulin now, because that means he can be aggressive with his 2 Panzer IVs without worrying about the sticky satchels.
Great mine, by the way, from DevM. He managed to take a lot of models off the Austrian squad. Here comes the Panzer IV through the center. Needs one more shot. It's abandoned.
Of course.
Of course.
Recrewing it, trying to back it away. Still, look at Jesulin's army supply, 77 to 37, well now 43, but big lead for Jesulin.
He's going to use the Faust. Use the Faust with the Austrian. It's abandoned again! No!
So that's like 5% twice in a row.
What has DevM done that's... Who is he bribed that's come up with this result? I cannot believe that. He's even penetrating the Panzer IV front with the T-70s. T-70s for days.
Maybe he's worried about a mine on the doorstep. Oh,
finally it goes down to the long shot from the AT gun. So here comes the Sturmovix trying to clear up at the moment.
Yeah, that'll buy Jesulin a bit of breathing. Oh, we got railway artillery coming in.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Wow. Now, the reason I'm watching this is just because we've seen railway artillery have a very big radius before. So I'm kind of expecting we maybe could see a shell. I saw it in the sky there. Oh, okay, these ones they're pretty accurate.
Yeah, railway artillery is generally reasonably good. 240 mil on the other hand, that's a loose cannon.
Wow, what a great performance from Jesulin in this game so far. We're seeing good lines with the AT gun from DevM.
Panzer IV coming in. That will be critical mass. Once he does that, he can just drive right on top of those 2 Zis and take them out. But he will be stretched for repairs. He's got a lot of vehicles, only 2 Pioneers. I think probably needs a 3rd once he can afford the manpower. Otherwise, repairs are going to be a little bit too slow.
Do you see anything from the guards here? They're going to button the Panzer IV. 2 AT guns. This could be interesting. There they go. They get it. Great micro from DevM. That is what Jesulin has to be worried about. And this is why I just think if you give DevM too much time...
coming in.
I'm not sure where it is. Oh! Big hit on the AT gun. Where's the second?
Oh, no.
Oh, no! DevM, he wanted to stop the AT gun getting recrewed, and he lost the penal battalion for it.
Oh, that is it. What a railway artillery there for Jesulin.
That was great recovery. He lost the Panzer IV, but I'm pretty sure it ended up being a worthwhile trade because he's got the resources to play with. Now it looks like DevM's going to lose a guard squad as well. No. I don't know if there's much that DevM can do here. The AT gun goes down. Now the mines start to come into play. DevM is going to surrender. It is 1-1 in this series, and what a great game from Jesulin.
What a game. He played.
All right, we are back. It is now 1-1 in our first series of the day, and I wasn't actually expecting it to go 1-1. Jesulin played a fantastic game there, really well.
Yeah, his light vehicle play was very impressive. He stayed out of range of Faust, kept his light vehicles alive, and rebuilding that second half-track, flame half-track, very bold, but it definitely paid off.
I think that actually whilst I'm struggling away with the camera here, you're doing some excellent analysis, by the way, and thank you. I mean, we got to talk right from the start of that game, just the reveal of the Ostrupen. Because I think if you let's turn it around, if it was DevM playing Ostrupen, he would probably not reveal that unit. He would be backline capping until he knows the time that a sniper would come out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
well, it was so close.
It was
like
so
a couple
close.
seconds.
It was so close.
Yeah.
But then you see it from DevM's perspective, immediately, the first unit that is sighted, he just went, I can't use this strategy anymore, and just completely turned it around. And credit to him for that, but didn't manage to make it work. I think Jesulin deserved to hold that game.
Yeah, it was very impressive for Jesulin, like chasing down units on retreat, getting the wipes. He just did it so well this game.
It was like watching the old Jesulin, actually. I have to say, it was. When you see him diving, I generally see him these days as quite slow in terms of his static positions. He likes to build up and then play with what he's got. Fine, but that was risky, and I love to see that, and I love to see that from Jesulin. So, 1-1 in this series. We're going to wait for the second game to start. We've got so many games to cast today. There is so much going on. In fact, we can probably bring up the brackets for everybody to see. If you haven't already, you can head over to GCS2.org and take a look at the brackets that we've got. So this is what we're on at the moment. Quarterfinals, DevM versus Jesulin, currently 1-1 in this series. Next up, we are going to have Von Aston against Talisman. That's, again, we think that might be a close game. Love Nest versus Refero. We'll see how that one goes, actually, because, again, both two very good players, and in terms of seeding, we're seeing a great game from DevM and Jesulin.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
More than up for being surprised. But I think actually Von Ivan helping hands. I'm really excited for that one, to be honest. I think there's a grudge match. I think everybody's friends, but it's
old friends, but
old enemies,
right? Bitter rivals on the battlefields of Kotu.
I mean, actually, I forgot to ask you earlier. I mean, do you have any secret favorites or predictions for the tournament?
Oh,
come on!
I want
you can say
to win. I want, like
I knew you.
I'm part of the. I'm a surrogate North American, so Von Ivan, let's do it.
I know that we've got plenty of Von Ivan fans here today. Thank you again, everybody who's on Twitch at the moment. Please keep sharing out the link to the stream. Get on social media. Get everybody here. We're having some great games at the moment. We've got a whole day to go. It's going to be exhausting for us, believe me. And it looks like the third game, probably that I imagine players just taking a little breather. They're going to be Devon's going to be like, oh God, which strategy do I use now? He's back to his old form. What do I do? Get rid of the paper.
do you remember the VP count? I don't remember them at all.
Actually, I think
must be Jesulin, right? He must have faction selection.
I think that Jesulin won that on 4-7. It was quite a large amount.
Asking chat. Chat
let
us know.
Chat, cast for us.
Help us. And what map is it going to be as well?
What do you think of the map pool, actually? Obviously, it's been carefully cultivated.
Yes.
Is there anything missing? Anything you like to see?
No, I don't think so. I think the new map from Trick has promise, but
is that the one with one VP?
No. The new one that just got added recently. I think that's got some promise, but obviously came to the game a little bit too late to be included in this tournament.
I mean, there's definitely going to be improvements. We know that actually Relic are doing some improvements on the game and bringing things back, and they've been working on balance a lot actually. State of the game. If you think about some of the work that's gone into it and some of the community efforts that have gone through.
It's been getting better and better and better. Honestly, it's the last 2 years. I think the game has just consistently gotten better, right across from map pools to balance to commander variety. Like we're seeing a lot more.
Do you know what's great? Really great. Is actually there's so many viable commanders now. There really is. And also, it's like, when did you ever see between like 2014 and 2016 anyone use camouflage in a 1v1.
Oh.
You know, it's like now people are starting to go, well, there's a camouflage. Oh, so you get extra damage when you burst out of cover, and it's like, this is really cool. Let's use it. But everybody's skill level is now at a point where you can utilize commanders like that. So we're seeing a lot more of that in tournaments now. It's great to see. It's great to see, like, you know, old players, old play styles, new players, new play styles.
Yeah.
So much new talent in Company of Heroes as well. Which is really, really awesome. I would say this is the most exciting that I've ever seen this scene.
It's good at the moment. There's like so much of the cheese has been removed, like demo charges, tripwire flares on doors, which have kind of, I don't know, overshadowed some of the other tournaments, but they're finally gone, and the game is all the better for it.
I think you're one of two people when it comes to demo charges and things like that. You're the kind of person that is a viewer and likes to watch loud noise and things blow up, or you're a player who gets incredibly frustrated about mechanics like that.
I mean, they are great for highlights in 4v4s, but
well,
just
speaking of mechanics, abandoned twice
Oh
in
my
that
God.
last game. People are going to be talking about that on the forums for days. Anyway, we're about to go into the third and final game of this series. This first series has become a lot tenser than I was expecting it to be, and we are going to go into that just now. Hello everybody and welcome to our third game in this series. You can see the scores right now. It is currently 1-1 between these two fantastic players opening up for us today. And playing on the north side of our third map, Faymanville Approach, it is going to be Jesulin playing again as the Soviets.
yes, and on the other side we have DevM playing as Austria.
It's been the same factions between these two. They've clearly got favourites to play against each other. I quite like that in a way, because there's no variables. Do you know what I mean? They're like, right, we're both going to play Soviets and Austere. Who's the better person here? I like that. They've not thrown in another faction and be like, yeah, but my Soviets was better than your Austere. Or
The classic Eastern Front battle as well. Very nice to see.
it is a real return to the original game on release. But third map, Faymanville. Actually, this, I have to say, probably my favourite 1v1 map that has ever been created. I just really love the width of this map. You've got your munitions that are pushed out to the side with a VP. It forces you to play wide and very short centre, so you always have to have something in the centre to stop those rushes. It's a fantastic map in Company Heroes.
I do really enjoy the north area of the map with all the kind of forests and corners, and you can set up ambushes. It's really cool.
Let's not stray too much from the action that is already heating up on the battlefield. We've got the MG42 already routed by Jesulin. A little bit more confidence in his play now after an amazing second game. It was Jesulin as well who also got the house in the centre, and that is being contested by Grenadiers and the MG42. Let's see, they've taken cover behind this dead cow, which I think is why that provides medium cover. We are still figuring that one out.
Very durable, those cows.
But again, DevM is the last two games, he's always fielded slower with units. So Jesulin looks like he likes to just get some units on the field right from the get-go, cap as much as he can, and play the advantage that comes from that.
Yeah, well, that's the edge with going with conscripts. You can start building them straight away, whereas the Austria player has to build the tier 1 to get the Grenadiers out. So it does give you a little bit of a map control edge early.
I like that playstyle though. I like that he, whatever the situation, he's always rushing something out quickly. The start game is about speed for him. I guess it gives him, the buildings on the map that he wants. He gets to go the direction that he wants and pull out any early surprises. But let's watch this fantastic positioning of MGs by DevM again.
Yeah, his machine gun positioning is so good here. He's got the Grenadiers there to hold the flank as well. Very impressive.
I mean, actually, I think the key to this, as we can see, is just constantly keeping the Grenadiers. Those Grenadiers just push up the front, and then he's always got vision. He's always got something just distracting conscripts. Really, really good.
This is just magic watching this machine gun move around. But Jesulin winning that battle there on the left. Machine gun having a tough time deciding what it's going to shoot at here.
You see how he's taking cover kind of like from the rear as well? I just think it's so cool. It's so cool to see. But DevM, he plans a lot of these engagements very carefully. You'll see he's just very much watching the health of these squads. Whether that Grenadier can stay alive or not will probably dictate how long that MG can stay in these engagements. So got to be very careful. There's the retreat. I hope there's going to be a retreat of this Grenadier. He hasn't noticed it yet. That is so late. Can we see the first pickup in this game? Yes, the Engineers get it. Immediately, DevM is on the back foot.
That's the thing about combat engineers. They still have the 16 damage rifles. They do so much damage, but their accuracy is rubbish. And that was a long-range pickoff. That is incredible luck for Jesulin. Good pickup there. And DevM, just late retreat. Really no excuse.
Well, I mean, if it's any measure of how this series has gone, RNG appears for everyone. You know, it's not an exclusive gift from Relic. Everybody has access to it. Dig deep,
yeah, well,
and you shall find
payback for the double abandoned last game.
I think so. But we see here Engineers upgraded with the flamethrower. Some more great positioning of the MG42. It's going to put suppression on the Engineers. Grenadiers will be able to steal the house now, perhaps, or are they going to wait?
I don't think... Yeah, I'm not sure. They're in an awkward position, though. Jesulin fighting really well here. Now that he's got the one-man advantage, he's putting a lot of pressure on. Even having to go for a second machine gun. He's deviating from his build. Usually by now he'd have his tier 2 going and trying to get the Flamer half-track, but he's on the back foot.
I think we might see... We might see from DevM here, maybe he takes it a little more seriously, because I think he probably thought this series was going to be easier than it was.
Yeah, I mean, he's just... Oh, Jesulin's playing so well. Very impressive. Just shows that we weren't just trying to hype him up earlier. He's really... It's really...
Thank you, Jesulin, for validating us. We nearly looked like fools. But guards, you see guards on the field there, and that is from Guard Rifle Combined Arms, which has been the Soviet pick in all 3 games so far. And, no doubt, I think it's a very good choice. Popular choice. Anything
very hard to not play a commander with guards in it at the moment.
Guards, Sturmovik, PPSHs. What is there not to love, really?
Yeah, very strong commander. After it got changed in the previous patch. Double machine guns, though. It'll be interesting to see how DevM moves around the map with them, because they can set up a large zone of denial.
Yeah, I mean, with Faymanville, you probably need it on this map, to be fair, because it is so wide. But there's also a lot of cover. There's a lot of green cover on this side. There's a lot of line of sight blockers. So MGs, I still think they're flankable, I think.
Oh, I disagree. I think this map is actually like, well, it's wide, it's quite small, and constantly having to avoid 2 machine guns on a map like this, I think it's going to be quite a task for Jesulin.
Do you know what I think the best thing is? I mean, looking back at Jesulin and some past performance in, well, not just GCS, but any of the tournaments we run, he's terrible with indirect fire. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, okay, no, I haven't noticed.
He's awful. I mean, he's the kind of person that brings on a Katyusha and uses it at max range, regardless of the situation. Yeah. So put enough support weapons on the field, bake Jesulin into the indirect. I'm sure there's a strategy of its own in there.
And look, DevM on the back of these 2 machine guns marching up the battlefield, getting a lot of territory under control.
Ooh, it's a second flamethrower engineer.
Yeah, very risky. I suppose he only only ran over 1 mine the other game. Doesn't know about all the others. He's going to take that risk of maximum firepower here.
I suppose that we see what went down here. Was it Telemine?
Yeah.
That's a really good position for that. And, actually, if DevM spots that there are 2 flamethrowers, then he'll be planting a lot of those, I'm absolutely sure.
Yeah, well, maybe he did. Maybe he did notice there was double flamethrowers.
Is it that quick? Is he that quick?
Hey, he might be.
Please tell me there's like a couple of seconds that DevM isn't somewhere. My word. So I really like this, by the way, from Jesulin. So if we just have a quick look at Nice.
Easy dodge.
Rifle grenade. Going to try and keep an eye on this last grenadier before I do this. We have a quick look at the tactical map here. You see Jesulin, he's trying to put that push that strategic decap outside of the base that cuts resources on the left. At the same side, he's going for the right-hand side. So really good map play from Jesulin, very strong.
Enemy is taking our territory.
T70 in production now, though. That could turn things around. It really depends on whether he runs over that mine, because that's a high traffic area. There's a very good chance he's going to hit that mine. And probably in DevM's best interest to try to continue fighting on the left-hand side in hopes of baiting T70 over that mine.
DevM, of course, has gone for mobile defense, and I don't know if that still says to me that someone's on the back foot if they're going to pick it like without needing it. I don't know if that still suggests that, but I remember it definitely used to mean that something's in trouble. Here's that T70 that we were talking about back in the center.
Now that T70 is on the field, DevM's command points are probably going to rocket around because he's going to be taking a lot of damage from it. So that Puma will be hitting the field quite shortly, and DevM has been banking his manpower in anticipation of that.
So interestingly, I think you see DevM here. He's probably going to want to keep units on the left as much as possible, because if he can get the T70 working that area, and it's likely to trip that telemine. It's probably sensible for DevM to move some units over there.
Oh, he's winning on every front at the moment, yes. Oh, hit the dirt.
Great way to play against the MGs, really, because now he's going to get vital decaps. You have a look at the territory for DevM, he hasn't got much.
One thing though, when you're suppressed, you do get a received accuracy bonus, so those machine guns can actually do quite a lot of damage. Gets there neutralized.
He got the job done at any rate. Now the T70 is going to come in and try and pick off some models. That MG is just set up, so there's a lot of opportunity here. Flamethrower is going to be working it as well.
Oh, and Puma coming on.
There it is.
No dodge. Ooh. Man, everything's gone off all across the battlefield here. Hard to keep track of, but it seems like Jesulin's staying on top of things very well.
I think as long as he keeps the... I mean, he doesn't know this, but if he keeps the left-hand side under control as much as possible, then he doesn't really have too much to worry about in the telemine. But then it may play into the game later. But I don't know if DevM's got the early effect he probably wanted from that. He definitely wants the T70 to trip it.
Yeah, he's got to keep those guards in a relevant position against the Puma, but avoid submission and straight away he has to retreat him.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
I think that's the key for Jesulin here. What's his guard's position going to be like? He can avoid the machine guns, but keep it in a position to damage the Puma. He's going to be in a great position to win the game.
Oh no, look at that. Gets into the building. Didn't see the engineers. Can we get the flames to burn all three models? And if it is in the house as well, he will lose the MG itself. Very, very lucky to get away with that.
Oh my god, I can't believe that. So close.
Good dodge of the rifle grenades there. We see DevM still trying it on. Rowing from the conscripts as they try and close the distance in medium cover.
Yeah, I think Jesulin's reactions have been a lot better. After that first game, he seemed a little bit slow, but these last two games, his dodging of grenades and whatnot has been on point. Straight away. Right on cue, dodges another one.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Building the Zis now.
It's a lot to keep on to. The late retreat from these engineers.
Having trouble holding on to territory though. These double machine guns are working pretty well for DevM.
I admit you're actually very good point on the MGs. They have done very well in this game.
I mean, he was down a squad early, and he's still fighting strong. He's still right in this game.
So DevM is a big push with the Puma there. He's also getting a lot of map control back.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good with one machine gun. Why can't he be just as good with two?
Hasn't got this line covered though. No, he's going to take a flank from the conscripts.
This is where the PPSHs will be much better though, because, you know, oh, why didn't he continue chasing? Slight micro here by Jesulin. Need to stay on top of that machine gun. But yeah, that's where the PPSHs are really helpful, because you just like run at the machine gun, it dies so quickly. Very, very strong close range. Oh, sniper in production for DevM. Uh-oh. Famous DevM sniper.
Yeah, sorry. I just realised. I just realised I've had my headphones on the wrong way around, so I've been hearing the left and the right, and I'm like, I only just noticed. Anyway, MG is going to be forced away by the T-70 on the right fuel, and both players fighting for map control. Jesulin, I think, has done really well, by the way, down through the center. All game, he's been trying to get this 1 point. It's like he lets DevM go over to the left and then decaps it hard. What do you see here? AT gun with a great line of sight. And once again, reactions from DevM. So hot to get that unit out of danger.
And Sniper's very good on this map, I feel. Like, kind of just park it in the middle, rotate a little bit left, a little bit right, can cover. Constantly be in a relevant sniping position and hard to flank as well. Fast connects on the T-70, so it's going to have to pull back for some repairs.
I think as well, just with the support of that AT gun being there, it really stops the Puma from making those deep dives again, like we saw before from DevM. So, a ballsy play from DevM. He does not want to lose a squad of Grenadiers.
Oh, if he gets super unlucky.
Which he has been.
Yeah. No, he gets away this time. What is Jesulin doing tech? He's got his tier 4 building. Is it done now?
It's about to be done. Just see him laying tripwire flares on the left-hand side. Sniper here. Be revealing itself. There are units around that might catch it on a retreat still. Do we have the barrage? Yep. Barrage on that MG42. Yep. Did very well in some previous games.
Yeah, missing completely there though.
The AT grenade on the Puma. Do we have any response from the T-70? Jesulin suddenly springs into life.
Yeah, I don't think he can chase this down. Sniper there, can pick away at the exist.
Seems to be trying, maybe. Wanted to see a pro rifle grenade there on the retreat. It was
very tense though. This game, I feel like, is either player could win. Very, very evenly matched currently.
It is, yeah. It's been swinging a lot, and I think when it swings a lot, at some point one player capitalizes on it and it goes very much in one direction. But it is kind of hanging in the balance between them both. There's the rifle grenades that we were looking for. They're still being dodged very well by Jesulin. And just as we saw, the whole map went red. Now it's going blue again. We're going to see a T-34 come on the field, and that's going to have the first advantage of a vehicle.
Did a grenadier just die? No. I heard a brave infantry are dying, and I don't see anything that died. Did DevM have 2 pioneers? No, maybe not.
Not sure.
Going for the T-34 though, not trying to bank up for the KV-1, which is a bit of a surprise. T-34 is vulnerable to the Puma.
Yeah, it's interesting, but maybe he's just looking for something a little more mobile. Jesulin here, he's just using the Sturmovix. Look at those planes. Raining havoc down over DevM's base. It's going to give him the chance he needs to decap the resources once again. Once he breaks suppression on the right-hand side, if he can get the T-34 to help, he has an opportunity to start capping. There's the Command Panzer IV from DevM. He's going to be immediately up against that T-34. Grenadiers actually going to get a successful Faust thanks to some penetration with the Command Panzer 4.
Yeah. I'd say he even got a little bit lucky penetrating there. Jesulin coming in now, but Puma's in a very nice position.
I think Jesulin, oh, maybe did he just lose line of sight a little bit?
Trying to bait him into their Zis. Gets a shot off. Oh my god, they've really got away on like a pixel.
I know. Heroically, Puma just tanking the shots for... not sure what DevM's trying to do here with the
charging
engineers.
in with that. T-34, he's one shot from death. He's playing it safe. If he picked up that Puma, man, he could just run amok. Look at all those like one model squads for DevM.
Crazy, isn't it?
If that was Von Ivan, he'd be in the base, running over, like trying to get the crushers going.
Well, we see the same thing. Jesulin's just going for that critical mass before he rushes in. He's in a good position though, so whatever he feels comfortable with. To be beating DevM at this stage is let him play. Let the boy play.
Yeah, and the thing is he had very good munitions control, just about enough for another IL-2. Already.
I think actually that was a really pivotal ability just to keep DevM at a disadvantage, because if he can keep him back in the base, then there's a good opportunity to set up to get good positions. And Jesulin, I think we know, requires a little more time to do that than DevM. So abilities that give advantages like that can be so helpful.
Surprise! Yeah. Machine gun's gonna go down here for sure.
Enemy has killed a machine gun crew.
Things looking grim for DevM here.
I don't think DevM knows what to do right now. Seems a little bit caught off guard. Might get a shot with the AT gun. He might take a Faust from the Grenadiers.
Oh, he's rushing in.
It's a big push. It's a big push right now. The Sturmovic's coming in as well. T-34s have to micro around the line of the AT gun. Can we see the last shot on the Puma?
No.
T-34 is now out of range. One of the T-34s goes down. The T-70's coming in to help as well. But the T-34 is now a sitting duck. Can the Puma be used by DevM here to make an awesome comeback? You see DevM is going for the AT gun. The Sturmovic is so noisy overhead. And Jesulin looks like he's forced to retreat from this.
Oh man, he's going to lose this T-34.
Actually goes to Faust the T-70. He's not happy with just taking the T-34 alone. He's going to try and take both. He's got to get line of sight right now. He's going to use the Grenadiers to go for that. As you can see here, he isn't quite able to see the T-70 and the T-34. There he is. One is in sight. He's got to start picking right now. Which one do I go for? Watching DevM very, very carefully right now. In fact, it looks like the T-34 might get away. The Sturmovic still causing chaos.
Oh no, T-70 sat there in recon mode for too long. Ooh, costly loss of that T-70. That was avoidable too.
It was, yeah. It looked like a game-winning push. But one thing we need to keep count of right now is the VPs, because whilst all of this is going on, DevM is about to drop below 100 VPs, and I'm very, very sure that DevM does not want to lose this first series against Jesulin. Sorry, oh, okay. What? Okay.
Where'd they go?
Sorry, I was like, what are you looking at? We seem to have lost the units on the top left and right. I've never seen that happen before.
Oh well, we'll soldier on.
Let me do some tricks of the trade to try and get them back. Nope. Okay, they're gone.
Okay, we'll worry about that next game. Anyway,
we now have another T-34 coming in, and let's not take away from the epic nature of this first series. Great setup positions from both players. We're seeing the AT gun being worked very efficiently in the center by both sides. Jesulin is still pushing deep down to go for the strategic decap, and he's now sending the T-34 to the left to try
there goes that telemine.
He's trying to get rid of the Grenadiers. Should trip the tripwire flare. that Telemine's just going to stall things for a second. I still don't think that's what he wanted from that. He would have wanted the T70.
Yeah.
So it is a shame.
Jesulin keeping that triple cap going though. Very strong, and 69 VPs left. DevM in major trouble.
I mean, if he pulls it back from here, I'll be incredibly impressed. But it isn't impossible. That's the main thing. We're gonna have to keep an eye on the units just on the mini map if you want to place any builds.
I'm trying to.
But Panzer IV penetrating the T-34 there. This doesn't look like a favorable engagement for DevM, to be quite honest. We have got MG in the building, which should be trying to stop this this Pioneer, both capping the VP and burning them out of the defensive position.
Oh my god, that command tank's penetrating every shot.
It's actually winning the engagement, which is very, very surprising.
I mean, he's stopped the VP drain at the very least, DevM. Struggling to hold on through the center though.
Oh, good dodge there. I mean, actually, it nearly worked in synergy with the MG suppression. That rifle nade could have been devastating. But look at this, Jesulin right now. He's prepared to send units all over the map. He's got a very mobile army. And his focus right now is, of course, the VPs. This is his moment to take the first series in the Grand Championship Series 2 finals.
Okay, is this coming back onto the field after getting reinforced? He's up to Vet 2 now as well. That's when he gains his reload bonus. He's going to be popping off those shots really quick.
Look at that. Big hits from the AT gun. Of course, DevM does have one of his own. DevM, of course, does have the deadlier AT gun. He does have the option for target weak point, which would stun the tank for a while, maybe allowing the Puma to do some work. But that Puma isn't having an easy time right now. I think all that Jesulin really needs to do is sit on this center VP, maybe use the T-34 to just sweep over to the left when it's contested. But at the moment, I think he's actually struggling to work out the positions of all of his units. He just seems to be caught off guard continuously.
It looks like Jesulin's stolen the MG42 at some stage.
The enemy is attempting to steal
And
our
that's
sector.
pushing through the middle now. Oh man, planes come in again. That could be the nail in the coffin. Very hard to push with those planes flying around. Going for the pack and he clears it. Oh, that's the green light to push in now.
Absolutely. Of course, with the Air Force does come Armor Company, and T-34s have a great chance in this game to make a difference. They're going to push up the front line. They've got recon, and they should be, as you say, they should be trying to attack move these AT guns and anything else they can find, just so they can stop them being recrewed. Jesulin's also taking the time to clear units out from the right-hand side, and if he can get a cap on this VP now with these conscripts, he will start closing the game very quickly. I don't think DevM actually has enough time at this point to get back in the game. I'd be very surprised if he can get 2 VPs off a triple cap.
No, he'd need a miracle to come back. He'd need Jesulin to lose like all 3 of his tanks right now and to get straight on top of the VPs. DevM still fighting hard though. He wants this win.
I think the fact that he isn't surrendering just goes to show that he is having a genuine struggle against Jesulin. He does not want to drop the first series. It's not good for his stature.
No. Going in as the favorite. Oh. 18 VPs remaining.
Yeah, this is, I think quite confidently we can say now that Jesulin is going to be clearing the first series as the winner. It's going to be a 2-1 situation, but he's going to win it confidently with 405 VPs in the third game. It's been a great first series, I have to say.
And just like that, you can see the number 8 seed can upset the number 1 seed.
There we go. What a surprise. Congratulations to Jesulin. All right, we are back after the first series. We are going to move over to a very short intermission just whilst we do some things. And we're going to, I think, I'm not sure who's casting the second game, to be honest, but I think we're changing, and A's going to step in for...
He's got to get in here, right?
He's got to have a little bit of time. But, Tightrope, if anybody doesn't know, by the way, Tightrope is a fantastic caster, produces tons of good YouTube content. So please go and follow him on YouTube. He's going to be casting